Good afternoon all. So today we are here to going to the Kotlin training demo. So what is the Kotlin? And we will see the contents, what we are going to learn. So about me, this is about the trainer. So I have ideas of experience as a trainer, and also have the experience in the Flutter and on application development also with the Java and Kotlin. So earlier we used to develop the Android applications by using Java. So but now most of the people are switching to Kotlin. So I have the Kotlin experience also, and so we are supporting uh, in any stage like so they if they start from scratch, so we can from scratch to deployment. So we are supporting to the students. So how to write the code and how to deploy to the Play Store, and what are the things to be added. Everything will be covered. So I have delivered more than 500 plus students so far. So today's agenda is so first of all we have to know why Kotlin, and so actually in the 2000 so before knowing about the Kotlin, so we have to know some history about the Kotlin. So in 2011, so the company called IntelliJ ID. So this company is announced that they are going to launch. They are going to create one language. So that is the Kotlin, and this language is open source. So open source means anyone can access without paying any money. So nothing but free. So and also the among the world, everyone can participate. Everyone can put their efforts. Like if they have them some different ideas, they can also add some new features to the Kotlin. So because it is the open source, and when so it is delivered. So in the 2016, the very first version they released in the 2016, and unless it was not having much popularity. But in the 2017, so the Google company, the Google announced that so the Kotlin is becoming the official language for the developing Android applications. Okay, so before 2017, they used to write the code in the Java language to develop the Android applications. Okay, but after 2017, so the Google announced that so this is going to be the official language. Okay, so from that, so in the from 2017 to till date, so it is increasing so much popularity. So day by day, most of the developers are switching to this new technology. So this Kotlin language. Okay. So that's why so we have to learn the Kotlin. And what is the why should we learn? Because already there is a Java, right? So we can do anything with the Java also. Java it's been from 20 years, 25 years it's been almost. But why we are switching to Kotlin? Because there are so many features available if you compare to Java. So nothing but so if you see the simple example, we can say earlier we used to ride the bikes which is having the kick. So if you kick the bike, uh, so then you can start. If you want to start the bike, so you have to do that. But latest trend is now just you can just self start is there. So like that. So Java also there, but the Kotlin is nothing but Java plus with extra features. So we can say the Kotlin is nothing but, so it is only, it is a Java plus extra features. So that is nothing but Kotlin. And whatever the things, whatever the boilerplate code we are writing in the Java, so most of the problems are just resolved, and they are making this language like you can write the code in a very, like suppose if you are writing 10 lines of code in a Java, so they are trimming to like 5 lines. So this is there are so many features we will discuss in few minutes. And so one thing is we have some extra feature, just keep it in this your mind. And so here offers trimmed coding. Trimmed coding means like it is number of lines is decreased, so while writing the code. And it is the JVM. So we can also say Kotlin is a JVM language. Okay? So there are so many JVM languages like Groovy, Java. So Kotlin also a JVM language. So what it means? What it means is like so you are writing the code. So it has to be, for example, if you are writing a Java file, so you are creating one file .java. So this Java file, so when you are compiling, so it is converting into .plus file, right? So it means you're converting to bytecode. Okay, so this bytecode is executed by JVM, okay, Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so this bytecode is only understands and it is executed by the JVM. Okay, so here also we are doing the same thing. So we are creating one file, so the extension is KT. So KT is nothing but Kotlin. So here also when we are compiling, we are going to get the same bytecode, so just like Java. Okay, and there are some extra packages are available for Kotlin. And the same thing here, JVM will understand the bytecode, and we can execute the code, bytecode, by using the JVM. So we can say Kotlin is a JVM language simply. So just like Java. Okay, and we have the one more option like interoperability here. Okay, interoperability means for example, so you are already written a code in the Java, so your project is in live and it is running, and users also there for your application, for example. And if you want to add extra things, extra features to your application by using Kotlin, okay, but which is existed in the Java, right? So you can also add the Kotlin for Java code. You can also add the Kotlin code. Okay, so it means there is an interoperability. It means you can call the functions, call the data from Java to Kotlin and Kotlin to Java. So no need to migrate, no need to change everything from Java to Kotlin. You can also add the new classes with the Kotlin. So that is a, this is a 100% interoperability. So nothing but you can use any functionality from Java to Kotlin, Kotlin to Java. So in a such a way they designed the Kotlin. So because most of the projects are currently they are using Java maybe, so they can also change from Java to Kotlin. And it is having fast compilation and uh, so smart features, and there are so many features. So this is a course curriculum. So course overview and installation. So you can use IntelliJ IDEA as a IDE because so this company has created the Kotlin language, right? So it is better to go with the IntelliJ IDE, and you can download with the community version by without paying any money. So it is a free version. So if you want to add some extra, so then you have to pay for the ID. But for learning purpose, you can use the community version. And otherwise, if you don't want to download, suppose if you want to learn the Kotlin language without any software, without any installation, then also they provided Kotlin playground. So Kotlin playground is nothing but it is online, so online website where you can I will show you. So this one, Kotlin playground. So here also you can write your code and you can execute here. So for example, I will show you one sample code. Just I'm removing these things. See, we can get the output. So here also you can practice. So instead of downloading any other software, so we can also practice here. And we have the basic types and control flow. So like Java, so in the Java we have primitive data types. So we can say these are the primitive data types. So so data types are like integers and float and a character and a string. So we have all these primitive data types. But in Kotlin we have all the data types are converted into objects. So everything is object. So there is no primitive data types. Directly we have integer class and a double class and a string class, just like. So we have the classes. So everything is a object. Okay. So here, if you observe, so we have two types. So like a variable and a value. That is nothing but I will show you. So you can create. So this is, for example, variable x is equal. See here I'm just using the 10. So if you see here I'm using a variable, and here I'm not using any data type. So this is the object, okay, by default. So internally it is taking it as a integer. So if you want to see, so directly I can print here hello world $x. So see here, so here 10 is become the integer, and we have one more thing, val. So val is nothing but, so here the variable is var is nothing but you can reassign, but val you cannot reassign. Okay. So this is nothing but immutability property for the y. Here you can change. For example, if I'm trying to change var, so y equal 20 already I given. I'm going to give y equal 30. So let's see, y equal 30, and I'm getting error. See, this is error. Value cannot be reassigned. Okay, if you want a value, so the final value if you want to store, then you can go with the value. Otherwise, you can use the var. So these are the new features which are not available in Java. So here you can just this is nothing but smart casting. So internally, the data is converting to the relative by using the data. So this is data. Suppose if you are giving instead of 10, if I am giving hello, so the x is becoming the string. So by the data it will be converting automatically. So this is the one thing. And we have control flow. So just like in Java, we if condition and for loop, while loop, and so many the control flow, everything will be same here also. But here there is one difference in the control flow. So the difference is just I will explain you. So in Java we are using like this code. For example, I want to write the code like if a is greater than b and a is greater than c. So I'm writing this condition. So here what is happening is and checking the a value with the b. If it is greater than b, and if it is greater than a, then only it will be coming into this condition, this loop. Okay, so here in the Java, what they are doing is first they are checking this condition. So it is asking to the compiler that a is greater than b. For example, if I am taking the values like this, for example, I am taking the a is equal small a, this one is equal 10. Okay, b is equal, so this one please assume it as the small a because it is changing into capital A. B is equal 20 and the c is equal 30. See, if the condition, if they am checking the condition a is greater than b, it is no. Okay, so it is asking to the compiler a is greater than b, yes or no. It is saying no. Okay, so in the first condition it is giving as no. Okay, and in the Java it is going to the second condition. Okay, again it is checking a is greater than c. So then if it is both are no, then it is not coming into this. Actually, when we are using the AND operator, it means at least one should be, at least the both should be true. It means the both should be yes. None of them it should not be no. Okay, if it is one condition is no, then it is not going to be to enter the loop. So for example, if it is yes, no and yes, then also it is not entering. First condition is important. But in Kotlin, what they are doing is they are using short circuit. Short circuit. What is this option? So this option, first of all, it is checking the first condition. If it is no, so in the AND condition, first one is no, then no need to check for the second condition, right? Anyway, we don't care about the second result. The first result is telling that, so we are not going to enter into this loop because the first condition is no. But in the Java, it is checking the two conditions. But in the Kotlin, they are made it as short circuit. So this is one very good feature. So internally, so it is working like this, the short circuit. And we have control flow classes and objects. So just like object-oriented programming concepts. So just like Java, it supports. So like constructors we have, and we have inheritance. So inheritance, like nothing but we can reuse the code. Okay, so we have the parent class and the child class like Java, and same thing we can extend the parent class, and we have interfaces and abstract classes also. So which is having just information without any implementation. So those things also we can use just like Java. And here in the interfaces with the latest versions like from 1.8, Java 1.8, so interface is also having the concrete methods. Earlier they don't have, so only they have only the methods which are not implemented. But now the interface is also having the implemented and unimplemented, the two types of methods it is allowing, the interface is allowing. So this one is also done. So the same thing, but extra feature from the Java 1.8. So it is also available in the code. And we have visibility controllers. So nothing but we have private, public, private, public, and so this one. And we have these modifiers, accessibility modifiers. So by this we can secure our data, and these are the same thing, same just like Java. We have these features in Kotlin also. And the data classes. So this data classes is not available in Java. So actually the thing is, in a class, suppose if I want to store only data, so instead of functions, and just I want to store the data, and it should be accessed by anywhere, like the data should be remain same, just like a static data. For example, in Java we are using the static. So static is nothing but, for example, if I want to store something, suppose if I am using static string name equal to, my application name will be mind magics. So here, see here, I'm using the static. It means it will be remain same entire application. Everyone can access throughout the application because it is a static. So here also in the Kotlin also we have data classes. So data class is nothing but, you can see that name data. So data class is nothing but we can store the only data. So different kinds of data. For example, I can store integer, float, double, or a string or character, anything I can store here. And suppose if I'm changing somewhere in the application, the static, so it will be updating, right? So here also same thing. So this object will be common for everyone. Okay, so that's why we are using data classes. And in the Java, for example, so one class, suppose class A is there and class B is there. Okay, so for example, in the class A is having the same properties. Suppose here the integer id, so B is also having the same property, integer id. But if you compare A is equal to B, so there you are going to get the result as false. A is equal to B. Why? Because in the Java, these are the two different objects. Okay, these are the two different objects. So A is a different object and B is a different object. See, if you see the data is same, but even though you are going to get the false. But in the Kotlin, right? Suppose if you are writing the same data by using the data class, okay, when you are comparing A is equal to B, then it is going to return true. So it is checking with the data. If both the data is having same, so when you are comparing the two objects, then you are going to get the true. So this is the benefit of the data classes. And generics, we have the generics. Okay, so generics is nothing but, so just like Java, this one also, like we have so different, like a list of, okay, suppose if you want to store array of strings or array of integers, so you can just use the list of, so where you can store like A, B, C, comma, C, D, E, like that. So this list, okay, so this is like a generic class, nothing but you can give anything here. Suppose if you want to provide, if you providing string here, then you can store the string values, and if you want to provide integer, then you can store the integer values. So you can also create your custom generic class. So you can also create your own class. Okay, suppose there are similar work is going on, only the data is changed, for example, then you can go with the generic classes. We have the collections. These are the collections. So which this one is the utility functions we have. So like utility functions, so which are not available in Java. So nothing but, for example, you have list of data, list of some names, so like variable names, and you have the data like this, list of ABC. The same thing, the same list I'm writing. DEF GHI. So by the utility functions, like there are filter function is there, filter, and map, and also for each. Okay, so these are the utility functions. By this, for example, if you want to filter out, for example, if you want to filter, suppose there are two values with the ABC, so you need only ABC, then you can filter out, okay, from this list. And you can map is nothing but if you want to change the state of the object, so then you can go with the map. And for each is nothing but a for loop. So like Java, so we have for loop. For loop is nothing but you can get the data, from the list of elements. So the for each nothing but this is just like internally working as a for loop, but we have the utility function. So by this function we can get the data easily. So these are the available in Kotlin. And next we have exception handling. So exception handling like try block. So whenever if you have any doubt on some code, for example, if you are doing some array index of, suppose if you are accessing array of elements, okay, so then you can use the exception handling there. Okay, and this is just like a Java only. And like we have the try block and catch block, and finally, and the same thing. And also you can throw your own, suppose if you want to throw any exception, custom exception, you can throw it by using the exception handling. And interoperability, just now we discussed, so nothing but we can communicate from Kotlin code to Java and Java to Kotlin. Yes, and one more thing is asynchronous programming. So this is a very crucial important point in Kotlin. So like any application, any language, uh, for example Java or any language, everything is supports async programming. Async programming is nothing but when you want to work with the background operations, such as if you want to download any image or if you want to upload any file. So that is nothing but asynchronous. It means you are not going to do by using the main thread. So in Java what we are doing is we are creating a thread, separate thread. A thread is nothing but a separate path of execution, so it is not disturbing the main thread. So but here in the Kotlin we have the coroutines. Okay, so compared to thread it is a very less, like it is taking more memory, it is taking very less memory. And there are so many features by using the coroutines. Okay, and by the thread, so thread is taking more memory, but the coroutines are very less. And for the async programming in Kotlin we are going to use coroutines. So most of the people are very much interested to learn the Kotlin because of these coroutines. Okay, because it is taking very less time, and it is having more speed compared to thread. And we have the scopes also with the coroutines. So this is a very important point. So we have the global scope and IO scope, a life cycle scope. So there are scopes. So wherever you want by the requirement you can use the coroutines with the scopes. So we can achieve the async programming by the coroutines. So there are we are using suspend functions. So if you creating the coroutine, so it should be executed by the suspend function. Okay, so you can write your code in the suspend functions. So this is the asynchronous is async programming achieved by the coroutines. This is very important in the coroutines in the Kotlin. So this one. And we have high order functions, lambda functions. So these are nothing but lambda functions is nothing but anonymous function, we can say, the function which doesn't have the name. So lambda functions which are available in Kotlin. And high order functions, so we can also so in the Java we cannot so we can pass the arguments, like we can pass the only data, but here we can also pass the argument as a function also as argument. We can also pass the function. So in the Kotlin we can also pass function as argument. So this is not available in Java. And we have the nested and inner classes. So we can write a class inside a class, okay, by nested. So this is nothing nested. And inner class is nothing but if you want to use the parent class data you can create the inner classes also. And we have null safety. So this is very important once again. So just like coroutines, so in Java we cannot like we are going to face the null pointer exception every time. So in the Java, so that is making more trouble to the developer to write the code. But here we have null safety. So null safety is nothing but so in the compile time only you can get some idea. So what is the error you are going to get? So there are we have different operators like safe call operator and let operator and Elvis operator. So these are the operators to our application become null safety. So it means, for example, suppose if you are using this is very important topic in Kotlin. For example, if you are using variable name, so this is general example I'm telling you. So for example, here I'm giving it as null. So when if it is null, then the application is going to be crash. So instead of that, we can use nullable. So this operator is telling that I am going to accept the null value. Okay, what if it is coming the null also, then it is not going to be crash the application. So it is going to print. Suppose if you print this name, you are going to get null, but it is not going to crash. So and we can handle by using this null safety operators. For example, if it is null, okay, you can print some other value. Okay, so we can also, so here suppose if you are trying to print directly in the name, it is not going to print because you are making it as nullable. So it means indirectly you are saying that this compiler will tell you, so this value is going to be null, maybe it is going to be null, so don't use directly. So you can use the operators, null safety operators. Suppose if it is null, then what you will do? So if it is null, then I can use some other string. So we have to write the code like this. So it is giving the suggestions while compile time only instead of runtime. So this is very important concept in the code. And Kotlin can be used for not only for application, only for mobile applications. We can also server side, client side, and web also. We can use this language. And suppose if you want to write like just like um, we can say Java Springs, Java backend services, just like then we can also use the Kotlin also for backend also we can use. So these are the options we have. Kotlin can be used for any kind of development. It may be server side or client side, web and Android. And with the Kotlin currently in the work supports other platforms such as embedded systems, Mac OS, iOS. People are using Kotlin for mobiles and server side applications. So there are so many ways to use this language. And here Kotlin supported as first class language for Android. So already I told you, right? So there are hundreds of applications already using Kotlin for Android, such as Basecamp and Pinterest. There are so many applications already there. So once the course is completed, then you will get the notification. And some random topics. So like how interoperability works and null pointer exception handling and async by using the coroutines and comparing with Java features. And we will see the environment troubleshooting also. So here we will see all these things. So while learning, so we will compare with the Java features also. So what are the differences between these two? And we delivered. So the lab set, already I told you, lab set is nothing but if you don't have any laptop or computer, then also you can learn this language by using the Kotlin playground. Otherwise you can go with this minimum expert like requirement, only 3 GB RAM and 8 GB RAM recommended, and minimum is 3 GB, and so very less requirement. So now every laptop is having this much requirement, so no problem with the app setup. And if you want some information about the Kotlin, so this is the official website of kotlinlang.org. So then there you can get a number of examples with the every topic. And these are the mock interviews. Mostly the people are going to ask you that what are the features in Kotlin. Just now we discussed, and why Kotlin is better than Java. And so is Kotlin fully interoperable? Yes, it is a fully interoperable. So, and how do you perform background operations? By using the coroutines. And what are the coroutines, what are the scopes? So these things they will ask. And how do you handle null pointer exceptions? Okay, so just now we discussed like we have the null pointer like null safety operators by that. And differences between class and data class. So nothing but data class is nothing but static elements, static data we can store there and we can access from anywhere. And these are the null safety operators. Popularity graph. See this one, the rise of Kotlin. So this data is till 2018 only. So from 17 to, so it is increasing day by day. Okay, increasing over 15x. Okay, most of the people are switching to Kotlin. Okay, that's all. So this is all about the Kotlin thing. So any doubts regarding, so please contact. So this is all about the Kotlin. So now I am recommending you, because in future there is a one more thing is coming like multi-platform. So with the Kotlin also, just like Flutter, just like hybrid applications, there it is, there one more thing is coming like you can write the code for Android, iOS and web also. Maybe it is in under development, I guess, and it will be coming in future. So we can also write the code once and it can be running on different platforms also. So better to switch to the Kotlin. So most of the people are coming to the Kotlin side. Thank you.